What's up guys, Velo here back again with another in-depth tutorial. Today we're going over Holly Hedges, which in my opinion is a little underrated. Similar in size as Salty Springs, has a similar amount of loot, but it doesn't have quite as much traffic, depending on the bus path, of course. But let's go ahead and look at an overview of Salty Springs. Of Holly Hedges, we have 6 houses. We have one here. We actually have 3 down here in the southeast corner. We have 2 up on the north edge, and then we have 1 over here on the west side. And in the middle, we have what's called the garden center. It's like a gardening store with a little courtyard out back, and then we have like this little hut over here. But let's go ahead and start from the very northernmost house, which is this yellow house. And if you're going to land here, the best option is going to be landing on the roof, as there is a chest right here. You can hear it below me. And the other option is there's a chest right out there by that tree. So if you guys are going to come out to this yellow house, if you're going to land on it, I recommend obviously landing on the roof, breaking through right here, and then you have a chest here as well as 2 loot spawns up in the roof. So not a bad spot to land. It's a little out of the way from some of the action that you guys might find on that side of town. Go ahead and open up this chest here. Let's go ahead and break right through the floor, and that's going to drop us into this upstairs bedroom. You guys can see there's a loot spawn in the bedroom, and then right here we have a bathroom, which looks like there's nothing in it. Loot spawn out here, and then another loot spawn as well as an ammo can. So you guys can see upstairs we have 2 bedrooms, bathroom. Remember, there's 2 loot spawns in the ceiling as well as that chest. So already you can see could potentially have a decent loadout going downstairs before you might run into somebody that you're going to fight. Another loot spawn right here at the bottom of the stairs. I don't think... Oh, there is an ammo can underneath, so you guys can get some decent ammo. And then out here, you guys can break, obviously, all of these furnitures to get materials. Another ammo here. Loot spawn here in the, what would you call this, the reading area, because we do have a little library or some bookshelves. Again, break those guys, get wood, and then that takes us outside. Now, what I would probably do if I landed here and got that loot, I would come out the back. If you're so lucky that there's a llama here, get the llama, but probably not. And you have this chest right here as well. And from here you can always, you know, rotate to one of these other houses, or if it's really hot, you can always just, you know, get out of here through the north. There are hedges, hence the name, that you can get pretty good wood from. You're not going to get 150 like I'm doing right now in creative, but it is a good option to go ahead and do that. There is a doghouse here, one of the 3, I think, doghouses, but this one does not have a chest inside of it. So you have only the 1 chest in the house and the 1 chest outside, but there is a lot of loot spawns as well as ammo cans in the yellow house. So not a bad option. All right, go ahead and moving on. Let's actually just knock out the whole north side of Holly here, guys. So if you come over to this side, we have this little garden area. Looks like maybe a little memorial, a little bench to do some thinking, but there's a chest here as well as that loot spawn that we just ran over here. And a loot spawn, guys, if you're not familiar, can have ammo, it could have materials, it could have a weapon, it could have throwables, it could have heals. There's a lot of things that you guys can get from these, and it's going to be completely random as to what spawns there. So sometimes it's a weapon, sometimes it's something like a mini or just wood, something like that. All right, and you guys can break these cars obviously to get more materials, but the thing that I like about Holly Hedges is there is a variety of material, especially if you're trying to land here and plan on upgrading your weapons where you do need wood, brick, and metal. You can get wood very easily by, you know, wood's probably the easiest to get, right? But the hedges, you can get those, but there's a lot of cars to get metal, and I'm going to show you guys a really good spot that you can get some brick here in a moment. But moving over to the northeast house here, we have in the back, actually, outside, this is a doghouse that does have a chest in it. Go ahead and break that open, and then you can come in the bottom floor here, or you guys can land up top too, because there's another chest up, I believe it's in the ceiling. I don't want to be quoted on that yet, but we do have a loot spawn right here in the garage. You can break, obviously, the car to get more, and there's another ammo can here, as well as the one right here. So a lot of ammo in the garage. It's usually how it works most of the time. If we come out front, you can see, break this stuff to get mats. Another ammo crate here. Loot spawn in the kitchen. Loot spawn right when you walk in. In this case, we got 2 weapons, right? That doesn't always happen, but this is what I mean by it can be random with loot spawns. Go ahead and check that out. I don't think anything other than crates underneath the stairs here. Let's go ahead and go upstairs. And then we have a bathroom here. Nothing inside of there. And then a bedroom here, which we do have the 1 loot spawn and access to the chest that's in the ceiling. Let's go ahead and break that. And that chest is going to come down. And then we do have another loot spawn right here. So if you guys come through the ceiling, if you're landing up top, you can see that not only are you going to get that chest if you come through here, but you also have a loot spawn right next to it. So you can potentially get 2 weapons in one spot. So that is the what house? What would we call this? I don't really have a name for any of these houses. If you guys have names that you call each of these, aside from just the colors, which is usually what I go with, feel free to drop those down in the comment section below. All right, continuing on, let's go ahead and hit the middle here, because the middle is a pretty big area. And you know what? It's a very popular spot to land, but I don't know why, right? I think it's just because you expect it to be the best because it's very large. But in fact, there's only one chest here in the garden center, but there are quite a few loot spawns, and you usually want to land here because you see a weapon on the roof, right? You see that blue pump just as you land, something like that. But there are actually 3 loot spawns on the roof here, and then if you break through the roof right here, northwest corner, you will see a chest right there on top of this little shelf. Loot spawns here as well. This is what I wanted to show you guys. Not only this one here, but also outside. I'm going to show you in just a second. Break these. They give you a lot of brick, which is what I was talking about, getting a lot of different types of materials here. You can get that. Inside this room, you have another loot spawn right here, loot spawn right here. So quite a bit of loot, just floor loot, right? And then we have the one chest here. Now, if you do come outside into the little garden area, I guess, you have a chest right here on this shelf. Your upgrade station is right there, as well as another loot spawn here. There is some ammo laying about. I believe there's an ammo crate on some of these shelves, just like this. These wood pallets are really good to get wood, but this is where you're going to get the brick. These 3 fountains, I think they are fountains. You can break these 3. It takes about 4 or 5 swings, 4 if you're hitting the circles, and you get a lot of brick from those. So this is usually where I'm coming. Another loot spawn here, ammo here. This is usually where I'm coming if I'm trying to get brick. All right, so far, let's just do a quick recap in case you guys are getting turned around. We started in that northwest corner at the yellow house. We came over into the garden, and then we hit this more brown house. Let me know what you guys call it. And then we came down here to the garden center and showed you that. Of the 3, I think your best option would probably be landing at that yellow house. But you can make arguments for the central location also, because you can push the fights if you want to be a little bit more aggressive, or you can land on a weapon that you see from the sky. Continuing to my favorite place to land. In fact, I want to build up because I want to show you guys how I would play this. This is, in my opinion, and I don't even know if this is opinion, this is straight fact. The best in terms of loot, best spot to land is going to be this middle house here, which I just call main. Whatever you guys call it, that's fine too. But this is how I would land. I would go ahead and land at this doghouse, and I'm going to show you why. Land here, break it, you have a chest. Say this is the beginning of the game, and you find an assault rifle or something like that. Come inside. Another chest right here. Get your shotgun. Right here, we have another weapon spawn or loot spawn. Ammo. Plenty of mats. Another weapon spawn or loot spawn. Ammo. Go upstairs and you have another chest. 3 chests really close together. You break out this ceiling right here. And then you've just opened 3 chests, hit 4 different loot spawns in a very short amount of time, and you can get ammo. Definitely the best spot to land if you're looking to get quick weapons, but it's usually contested because it is a pretty popular spot within Holly Hedges. So, but if you have it to yourself, this is definitely where I would start. Get those materials up, and you guys can always upgrade at the upgrade station, which we showed you guys right over there. All right, continuing on, what have we not covered? Let's come over here to the east side. This spot, in my opinion, I keep saying in my opinion, is the worst spot to land because I think people land here because they can see the chest as they're flying in because it's out here on this balcony. But aside from this chest, there's really not a whole lot going on in this house, right? We have the one chest here. There's just a few loot spawns. There's like maybe a couple ammo cans, but up here there's nothing except one loot spawn here, one loot spawn here. And then downstairs, same thing. I think there's, and it doesn't always have stuff on it, guys, but there's a loot spawn there as well. Overall, not totally excited about this spot, but it's an option. Depends on what's happening with the rest of the map, where people are landing. Bringing us over here to the southernmost house, which is this brick house right here. You have the garage right here, which has a loot spawn right there. come out into the lower area here. We have loot spawns all throughout, ammo cans as usual. Got a shotgun right here. And then we do have one chest in this house, and it is in the ceiling. And it's actually just over the stairs. And then look up into the roof, and there's another loot spawn location right here. So don't forget to check that, guys. Sometimes I would break out a chest, but I wouldn't check to see if anything else is in the ceiling. It's a good thing to get in the habit of. We do have 2 bedrooms that have loot. They have ammo. Some of them, I believe. Yep, ammo right there. Bathroom here, another loot spawn. Typical stuff, right? But let's go ahead and check everything. We've been downstairs, and we showed you guys the roof. So this spot's not terrible. It does only have 1 chest, but it has a little bit more loot than the spot to the east that we were talking about. And that brings us, what have we not? We haven't done the 2-tone house yet, and we have not showed you guys this little hut right here. This hut doesn't have a whole lot to offer, but it does have, I think it's 1 loot spawn and some ammo. The loot spawn is actually, there's 2. There's 1 on the roof, and there's 1 inside. It's not here right now, but there is usually something here. And then we have ammo here as well. Furthermore, you have the little bus stop. Also has a loot spawn and an ammo can there. I'm not going to walk over there to show you guys that, but you guys can get the picture. And then we have the 2-tone house here. I call it 2-tone because it's blue on the top, brick on the bottom. And this does have 1 chest as well, right up here in this corner. And then there is 2 loot spawns, but you have to break through the walls here to get to them. 2 loot spawns, ammo can. Not a bad option. You could potentially, like we just did, you could potentially get 3 weapons just in the roof, right? Drops us down into the stairs. Let's check the upstairs really quick. I believe we have a bedroom and a bathroom. Yes, we do. Loot spawn there, ammo. You guys can see the pattern here, but I want to show you at least where the chests are. Loot spawn here as well, and a loot spawn in the kitchen. This leads out back, and there's another loot spawn right here. Ammo, and then finally, don't forget, guys, check the tent, because the tent does have the 2nd chest. Although it's not in the house, it is here. So I would technically say this house has 2 chests, because 1 is right outside. All right, what have I not covered? I think, guys, that's it. Let me just double check, and let's just do a quick recap one last time. All right, so we started with the yellow house up here, the chest back there. The garden, we came over to the brown house, came into the garden center, which was, it's okay. Upgrade station right there. Options to get variety of different materials. The best house right here, what I call main. There's another llama over there. The 3-story house, it's not that great, but it's an option. And then we have the house over here with the basketball, and then the 2-tone, which we are above right now. If I missed anything, guys, if I forgot anything, make sure you leave that in the comments section below. If you guys want to hang out with me on stream, I'm live most days of the week on Twitch, twitch.tv/VeloStinks. Make sure you go check that out. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed, if it was helpful. Helps out the channel a lot, guys. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I'll see you in the next video. Crank, Velo, crank.